Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if it's your first time here. My name is Kia Beth and I like to play with makeup. So for today's video, we are back with the Disney Plus series episode Tree, and that was 6. Anyways, and I'm going to be doing The Princess and the Frog today. If this is your first time watching my video or a video from the Disney Plus series, I am doing a series here on my channel to create wearable looks inspired by some of my favorite Disney movies or Disney shows. And so today it's The Princess and the Frog. I'll go ahead and link in one of the corners up here my last Disney series video, if you want to check that out. So that is what today's video is going to be about. I'm just going to go ahead and play and just try to create the look for y'all. So I'm going to shut my trap and get right into the makeup. Quick cut. This look has officially gone 3 different ways. I had done this eye completely and then I was going to come on camera and film this eye. And in the middle of filming, I forgot to do one step on this one that I had already done on this one. And I love how this looks so much better. So I'm going to finish this eye off camera and then I'll come back and do the same thing on this one to show you guys. Okay, that was all. Back to your regularly scheduled programming. Hey guys, so the first thing that we're going to do is prime our lids, and I'm using the P. Louise eyeshadow base in Rumor 02, so just placing that on the eye and then spreading it out with a brush. The first shade that I'm going to go into is more of like a very light orangey, like brown shade. You can use any one that you like for your transition. This one's actually called Katsina from the Juvia's Place, the Saharan palette. And I'm just going to buff that in, and then we're going to go in with our first olive shade. So the olive shade that I'm going in with right now is actually from the Morphe 39A palette. They don't have names, but if you have the palette, it's like just an olive shade that's in the bottom towards the left. And I'm just going to create kind of like a halo effect with this, and so I'm buffing it into my inner corner first, and then I'll buff it into on the outside of my eye, and then connect it at the top. You can go in with this as little as you need and just build it up slowly, and just make sure that you blend it all together. So what I'm doing here is similar to what I do for most of my looks on my channel. When you want the color to be nice and concentrated in one area, you want to pack it in using patting motions, and then you can just blend it out using circular motions or windshield wiper as I'm using here. I'm not going to take this crazily, too far out towards my hairline, but I do want to still have that kind of like winged effect, and then I'll blend it into the center. Alrighty, so now I'm using a Morphe E17, which is a much smaller defined brush, and I'm going in with a dark olive shade from the Juvia's Place palette, the Nomad. You can use obviously any dark olive shade that you have, and so this I'm going to use to add more definition into the eye itself. So I'm kind of concentrating this right there low on the lash line, and then slowly building that out, making sure that the highest pigment is still right there at the corner, and I'm also going to put this in towards my inner corner of my eye, and then same thing, connect it in the center, and then I go back in and buff out the original olive shade just to make sure that there's no harsh lines. Now we're going to cut the crease, and I'm using my NARS Soft Matte Concealer in the shade Custard. So like I said before, this is going to be like a halo eye, so instead of cutting my crease right from the corner and just, filling up my whole lid, I'm really just going to cut the center. I do kind of bring this out because, as I mentioned before on my channel, I feel like I have kind of smaller eyes, and so giving myself more space in the center to put in my light and my vibrant shades allows me to make it appear that my eyes are a little larger. So I'm just going to build this in slowly. This is sped up, so take your time to make sure you have a nice clean edge, and then buff out until you're liking.
So once your crease is cut, I'm going to go in with my first shimmer shade, and it's Celia from the Alamar Cosmetics palette. I'm going to use a flat but still kind of fluffy brush to press this onto the lid and to where I cut my crease. I'm focusing more on the outside edges, and then on the center, I'm going to use Iman from the Saharan palette Juvia's Place to just brighten up the center of the lid even more so and bring more attention to that, just give it a nice pop. You just blend those two into one another. Shimmers usually blend pretty easily when they, are mixed together. And then you're gonna go in with the original olive tones that you used just to buff out those outside edges and make sure that everything blends together nice and evenly. And once you're done with that, the eye look is complete. Pretty easy. Now that the eyes are done, I'm going to go in with a little bit of concealer first. I already have my primer and all that good stuff on my face. I'll link them down below for what I use. It's just my Tatcha and my Milk primers. But now I'm going in with the Morphe concealer in the shade C1.55. Slightly to color correct and just to have a little bit more consistency under the eyes or coverage. Buffing this out with my brush, and then I'm going to go in with foundation. For my foundation, I'm going to be using the Juvia's Place I Am Magic Velvety Matte Foundation in the shade 640. The shade name is Malta. So I'm just lightly dabbing this all over my face. This foundation is super hella ultra full coverage, and so I always end up putting more on my hand than I actually need, but just slowly buff this into your face. I'm personally using the Morphe M439. It's like a dome foundation brush. I just feel like it applies it very well and very evenly. If afterwards, and I do so in this video as well, you need a little bit more coverage in certain areas. I was getting up from my period, so I had some pimples. You can just slightly dot that on and then blend that out. So here I am just using a tiny bit more of the foundation to cover up those little problem areas that I'm dealing with, or that I was dealing with. Just kind of wanted to show you guys that you can just use a little bit more at a time if you have to get some extra coverage. You don't need to put a whole new layer of foundation on your face. And the foundation blends in, to itself very nicely, and it's very easily buildable. I just, blend it in a little bit, and then you can go in with your concealer. I'm using my NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer in the shade Custard to conceal a little bit more and highlight primarily. So I'm putting this on my forehead, on the sides of my nose, tip of my nose, and then on my chin. And then using that same brush that I used for the original concealer to buff that out. I'm also putting a little bit on the sides of my eyes just to clean up my eyeshadow. It's not going to be super sharp, but just to give it a little bit more of an edge. And I'm watching The Princess and the Frog, so don't judge me. So once the concealer is blended in, we're going to go ahead and set it, and I'm using a Morphe E49 brush, and I am using the Lancome Long Time No Shine Loose Setting and Mattifying Powder in Translucent, just under the eye very lightly to go ahead and make sure that all of that sets in. You don't have to use too much. And then once I set my under eye, I'm going to go ahead and set the rest of the face with a crown brush. Doesn't have a name, but for the rest of the face I actually use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Loose Setting Powder in Banana. Alrighty, so now we're going to bronze the face. I'm using my Morphe Glamour Bronze in Iconic with the brush R0. And so I'm just going to go ahead and concentrate this on the top of my jawline, and then just blend it inwards, a little bit on my neck and my forehead, and just bring it in to warm up the face. For blush, I'm using my really old and really busted Morphe 9N blush palette, and I'm just picking up the top leftmost 2 shades to go ahead and apply the blush, and I'm using the Morphe Y4 to go ahead and put this on the cheeks and blend it into my bronzer. Once that is on the face, I'm going to go ahead and highlight. I'm going to use the Nicole Guerrero palette, and I am using the golden shade and my Morphe R31. Just go ahead and place the highlight on there nice and bright. Once my cheeks are highlighted, I also like to go in and just highlight the tip of my nose and my bridge. Once my face is done, I'm going to go ahead and just mimic my, lid area on my lower lash line. So starting with that like orangey shade and then mimicking the halo effect. So with the Iman like light shade right in the center, and then blending in the green shimmer on the inner corner and the outside corner of my lower lash line. Now I'm just going to go ahead and use a little bit of eyeliner. I'm not going to do a wing or anything like that, but just a nice thin line to where I'm going to go ahead and apply my lashes, just in case there's any lash glue or anything like that, to go ahead and hide the band. And once my liner is on, I'm going to go ahead and use my Benefit Roller Lash Mascara to finish up the look. I'm going to put some eyelashes on off camera and my lipstick, and then the look is done.
Alrighty guys, so this is the finished look. I went ahead and did my lashes and lips off camera. My lashes are the Eyler lashes in the style Marquee. So this is them. And then on my lips, I lined them with the Morphe liner in Trendsetter. I have the Morphe cream lipstick in Forevs, just all over. And then right in the center, I have just a little bit of Jeffree Star Mannequin. Just dotted it in and I just kind of blended it in with my fingers. But that's it. That's all I have there. And yeah, so this is the finished look. Went through like 17 different changes to finally get it to here, but I'm really happy with how it came out. I think it's really light and bright, and it's a halo eye, which I usually never do, not even like on my channel, but just in real life. Really happy with how this came out. I hope that you guys enjoyed the video. Hope that you guys enjoyed the look. Please continue to stay safe out there, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.